Good evening, everybody. I think we're on to the 80th episode of the Apostle Obsonate playthrough as Ike Upscribe. I am System Shock, your host for this evening and all future evenings. I don't remember where we were at, so I'm going to start with a review of all of their verbs. So we've got a Season of Despair coming up. Sorry, is it Season of Despair? Yes, Season of Despair. One way or the other, I want to make sure that I don't have Dread on the board. I don't think that's going to be a problem. You know, just keeping an eye on some of the books that'll be coming up. We're currently repairing the mirrors, so one of the things that's nice, assuming that I keep a good string of Spintrea coming in, we now have 2 mirrors. We're going to be able to alternate those 2 repairs between trips to the Peacock Door, which means that we'll potentially be getting a few more Vagabonds maps. I believe we're currently... No, we're upgrading. Okay. So we're upgrading our Forbidden Epics. I think I should probably be translating the remaining books at the current rate. Should also maybe double check the time that we have on the Delightful Blood. So after 53 seconds, we may have to worry a little bit about this blood going to waste. We'll see where it goes. We're going through the Lone and Level Sand, so I believe that I'm going to need another run at the Vagabonds map, so that's going to be another minute that goes by. And the Maid in the Mirror and the Callagine are not going to last long enough, so what I should probably do with them once the repair happens, I should probably get them talking to each other. It does mean that we're going to lose this Callagine, but that was going to happen one way or the other. And finally, we're on our way to the Peacock Door. So I think that's all that I really need. I know one of my sort of secondary goals was to try and get some of these other more intense paintings finished. We've managed to do everything that we can currently do except for the Grail and the heart painting. But yeah, other than that, I think we're ready to go. All that I am is here. This will show This will show to best advantage in utter darkness, like us all. Finished. I made something unique, something extraordinary, something I will never dare exhibit publicly. Alright, so plenty of inspiration, contentment, which will hopefully be helpful if I generate sort of an unexpected dread. Now, the intensity of radiance is going to turn into fascination. That's something that I should keep in mind. In fact, maybe if we can pull it off, we let that Delightful Blood decay, and then we'll be able to deal with the fascination that emerges. Okay, I don't think that gets rid of staleness, but I wanted to take a peek just in case. And here's the door in the eye. He came from the glory we cannot help but see. So, I suppose the next question for me right now would be, do I want to go and do another painting right away, or do I want to try some of these commissions? We're okay money-wise. I still think the reporting's fine, so that's 10 there. There's 11, which I believe is because of this time passing. And then I sort of misidentified the glitch earlier. It looks like it's adding another 9 every time I pick up a funds, but I wonder if that's related to the number that's left over, actually. But anyways, it turns out that this is being accurately reported unless I pick up the fund, so I wasn't overestimating what I had previously. All right, so now we need a glimmering for our upgrade. That's not that hard to provide, and I still never decided what I wanted to do with my work. We're okay without the Spintrea for the intermediate term. Okay. So I'm going to build a Grail painting. The reason for doing the Grail painting... The reason for doing the Grail painting first is that I don't need the vitality of a heart painting first, or at the moment. So let's... oh, hang on, but I don't have the passion for it right now. So let's get that edge commission done. This may be useful in a commission. Sorry, that was longer than I really should have thought about that, but... Okay, an unresolved ambiguity. Now, this would normally be quite tempting, except that I sort of already have I kind of already have what I need from that. In this case, I really am looking for the higher level lore. Now, I think probably what I want to try and do here is go to the Red Church. That's because the Season of Despair is something that I know is going to be coming, and it's going to be coming at a time, well, I guess I have the contentment that I made. And then the Red Church will potentially give me fascinating. Okay, you know what? Let's risk the Worm Museum. Okay. Not the most surprising result, but I do have that contentment, so I can clear it out. I dreamt last night of the Worm Museum. The Hours have set wards about it and warnings before it, but they have left it open to mortal adepts who can prove themselves by reaching it. Perhaps they hope to inspire revulsion against the things that bred in the corpse of the sun. Those things are here still, and always dying, never dead. They came from nowhere, the warnings say, and if they complete their work, the Mansis will be nowhere one day. So it's debatable as to whether or not that was a worthwhile effort. The one nice thing here is that we can combine the dread with the contentment, so that neutralizes that threat, and then it's going to give me another fleeting reminiscence. Admittedly, it's not going to be all that much longer lived than the one that I currently have. That's potentially a solution to the intensity of radiance, rather than just keeping a dread hanging around longer. So we already have a potential solution to the fascination that will be coming out of that, but in this case, you know, I know what the challenge is. We can neutralize it on our own terms, and you know, that'll be my justification for the time being. I really need to find a better filing system. I can't put well, I could put the followers up here, but I have a feeling, well, okay, let's risk it. I have a feeling this is going to result in some more blunders more than anything, but gives me something to do in the meantime. Okay, another Season of Despair coming up, so that's kind of equivalent to a that's sort of equivalent to a free turn for us for the time being. Let's leave that there. I guess I have to move them down if I want to be consistent. It's about as close as I'm going to get to some kind of consistency here. But I do want to be careful about my my summons here. I'd rather not lose them. My follower needs a silver Spintrea or better to complete their task. I forgot that the other mirror had a higher cost. Alright, so Maya. There was a city here. We could pick over its remains like jackals over old bones, palace walls, buried roads, shattered fountains. Sometimes we may find knowledge of the dead. Sometimes the dead may find us. So these are all of the expeditions in the Lone and Level Sands. This means that the Vagabonds map here, that's going to be one of my starting lore to upgrade to the final level. This is good because I want to start using my followers here for other purposes. So now I don't need to have them sort of talking to each other in the talk verb to preserve them. We can start sending them to the tombs of the Shadowless Kings and then to the Lone and Level Sands. Now it's very likely we're going to need to add other followers, but again, that's a consideration for later. We are also getting short on funds, so I do need to consider whether or not I'm actually going to be able to pull off the full range of expeditions. I think I probably overestimated what resources I had available, and not just because of the glitch. Yeah, that's really neat. So it looks like you get whatever remains, it increments by whatever is remaining on the table. Cool. Anyways, we must penetrate the mountains, past the Guardians, brave the curse the Shadowless Kings left behind. Perhaps we will find treasures. So we know we're not going to get any books from this. This is just purely, you know, clearing out whatever else we have in the region. Again, the best version of this is if I can get through these 4. So maybe I should be thinking a little bit about how I'm going to generate some cash. It's a tough one because I'd really like to do commissions and I'd really like to finish the paintings. but the paintings aren't as big of a deal as... Okay. So I'm going to do a 2 passion, 2 notoriety affair. You never know, this might be a living. Let's take the... I probably shouldn't be taking the Rising Heat as inspiration, but let's take a Fleeting Reminiscence as the inspiration. Clear my mind. The sun still moves, the wind still walks, my journals are the labyrinth clue. So another Fleeting Reminiscence. Now we're okay as far as the Delightful Blood is concerned. I believe the next Season of Despair is going to pass us, which means that we'll be able to neutralize the fascination that emerges. If I get that wrong, I've got a little bit of trouble ahead of me, but I think we can handle it. I'm also debating as to whether or not I want to go back through the door, or into the Mansis. For now, I think I'm going to leave it be. The mirror is repaired. It shines again as it did once before. Okay. So here, let's take... I think I will turn in with Count Jannings. Alright, I have given my agents the opportunity to serve. Let us hope it ends well for us all. So, Watchers, in this case I think the Moth will do the trick here. Creeping Breath Curse will need Heart or Grail, so we're really short on that. And then Hidden Doors can be found with Lantern or Knock. So we're actually... This is really designed... Sorry, this is also a 4-resource journey. Okay, this is actually... quite a bit tougher than I thought we were going to be up against. So let's start by adding the funds. Okay, we've just received the currency of the secret world, and my patron has let tantalizing information slip. So it's not the end of the world if we're not able to do all of the expeditions. Just remember, of course, that the purpose of doing as many expeditions as we could in one big go would be to just generate a lot of notoriety and sweep it away. And while I have 2 in the work slot, or, you know, 5 notoriety isn't the most I've had on the table at any one time. So it's a little disappointing to... I guess it would be up to 6 by the time this expedition's done. But it's still, you know, we're not really breaking new ground as far as, you know, reputation for terrible things. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not going out of my way to try and generate stuff that hurts me, but it's worth just kind of... To me, it's worth considering... Oh, that's right, I forgot. I'm making an unresolved ambiguity, so it actually might have made sense for me to take that other unresolved ambiguity just so I could double it up. I thought I was turning this into a Vagabond's map. That's fine. More lore is... You know, more lore is better than none. So, let's go for translation. So we will first translate the Book of Masks, Athena Vanna's work on the rogue hour called the Vagabond. Lock the study door, the work begins. Okay, Moth Commission coming up. Only Siluchana wasn't the one to give it to us. And is there anything I want to do with the talk verb right now? I suppose we can repair another mirror. We're probably going to have to send Valsine off on the expedition. Yeah, for now, let's take care of the mirror. And then I suppose the question is, why not go through the peacock door at this point? Oh, I know why. Because we want to get rid of the potential fascination and or dread. Okay, we're good. So the Wolf Despair prowls elsewhere. No dread empowers this despair. It's over for now. So we're in a good spot as far as clearing out the Delightful Blood and the Consciousness of Radius. We need to wait 21 seconds for it, but we'll be fine. And we are going to see all of our Mystique and potentially Notoriety. Well, not all our Notoriety, but we are potentially going to see some Notoriety scooped up in the Season of Suspicion, which means it's to my benefit to generate some more Mystique if I can. Alright, the hour called the Madrigard is at home in the cold. She will almost certainly keep us from falling. So we'll add Valsine to make that a certainty. I will then add a Moth Follower, and I'm going to have to do a little fancy footwork as far as the Heart and Lantern are concerned, but I think we can pull it off. My recent work is considered notable. I've exhibited the latest paintings publicly. Surely someone will buy something. Okay, so Mystique. contentment. Ah, that's a nice batch of mystique I just got there. Okay. But I didn't get any money. Well, that's a pity. Because we have the Season of Suspicion coming up. Oh, that's a tough one. Oh, and I did. Oh, right. I know. I remember why I did it. And I have 3 staleness as a result of that. That's disgraceful. Okay, so Glover and Glover is not an option for cash. Let's do some passion painting. I don't want to. I'll still put a notoriety in. But yeah, this is not great. Oops, wrong way around. Let's take the fascination, combine the dread. I think it's pretty clear at this point that we're not going to be able to make it to the Lone and Level Sands. Unless we get just a magical dump of cash. I may be able to sort of extend matters by having the 2 summons talk with each other while I'm working, but at the current point, I think it's like we need to do something to recharge our coffers. The one option I do have, of course, is to sell off a bunch of junk before I try and go back to Glover and Glover, but. Alright, I could spend money on better paints, or perhaps I could find more exotic pigments. So I suppose the question here is, do I think I'm going to be getting any cash out of a -3? I think in this case here, we're not going to throw any money after it. We're going to try and get rid of our staleness, and we'll see if we can leverage our reputation when the time comes. Athena Vanna's work on the rogue hour called the Vagabond, who is known as the Laughing Thrush, the Centipede, the Pilgrim, and by many other names, or, as Vanna has it, masks. Okay, so because it's a Season of Suspicion coming up, we'll get the book read now. The Mask of the Laughing Thrush, says Athena Vanna, has a great friendship with the sun and splendor, the highmost hour of the Mansis, now divided and departed. The Mask of the Sight Thief painted the river in the Mansis. The Mask of the Vagabond was forbidden the Mansis, not for what she had done, but for what would occur. Okay, and they need a bronze Spintrea. We're fine with Colors of the Night. Okay, another Season of Ambition. So this will live long enough for us to replace the Savorous Blood, so this is coming exactly the time that I need it. And the expedition's looking for money or followers. I think in this case, let's add 1 more funds. Alright, recent work has drawn some attention. Something should sell. Alright, so we did make money off of that. That's good. We've got a little more life in our... efforts. I kind of abandoned my old sorting. Okay, so I only have 1 passion to play with right now, although we'll be getting... Alright, no, we'll put the 3 into the next painting. I'll still use some of my reputation to paint, especially because we're going to be losing it relatively soon, I think. And let's do a painting about how inspired I am. Okay, new Wildering Mirror. Oops, that's what I was worried about. The air is curdled now. I'm home again in this lumpen flesh. Better, perhaps. So... Rose... Okay, Enid fell away. Alright, looks like everything else is in order. Although again, the question is, why am I sitting on all this stuff? I've got a couple of open verbs, so I should be going back to the Peacock Door as much as I can, given that this is going to give me more expeditions. In my dreams, I know the path through the glass garden to the peacock's door, the most admirable of doors, the door which shines like a mirror. Perhaps, with the right resources, I can pass it. So we'll do the Wildering Mirror. I actually have more money for Spintrea, but that's life. And I really don't think I have anything to do with the talk verb right now. So let's get Count Janning. Well, that's not entirely true. I can actually generate some notoriety by sending some followers out to go burgle things. Our strength is matchless. The Watchers will almost certainly regret standing against us. Well, let's try something a little more calm. Let's bring Porter along. Look closer, closer still. Closer. Keep looking. Closer. Now close your eyes. Now, it'd be nice if I could say it's like, aha, Porter has the, the knock, which will help us with the door later. It won't actually, because I still need Enid and Neville. Both of them are 5, so in the end, adding Porter doesn't really do a whole lot, other than giving me the deception. But I don't know. I don't want to murder the mortals if I can avoid it. We'll still not spend on paints just because I'm trying to get the staleness down, and I'm trying to make some cash. And the Count would like a commission on Heart. And again, my preference would definitely be to... I mean, painting will potentially generate you some reputation anyway. But my real... it would be nice to generate the mystique coming from these commissions. But given the fact that I really need the money right now, I'm going to be focusing on painting for as long as I can. It's also possible, if we get lucky with the mystique, that we will actually outlive some of our notoriety. But with that in mind... we'll read the Book of Masks, and call it for the evening. The Mask of the Centipede recalled her birthplace, Maya, which had punished her for creeping into the temple precinct. This mask cursed Maya to drink only dust and to be remembered only by the wind, for not beneath any mask does she forgive, and the centipede's hunger is not to be forgotten. So we have the Centipede Testament. This is the third of that particular lore that we have. But that's it for tonight. So, I suppose it's good that we've gotten through the expeditions we originally wanted to, but it would have been great to get through the Lone and Level Sands. We're still going to hold on by our fingernails to get that done, particularly because the Season of Suspicion is running by, and we're going to see a lot of our reputation get swept up. It would be sort of nice to be able to... again, make the most of it. But in this case here, it really depends on what kind of threats we're looking at. I am going to need to get a Callagine to clear up the evidence and so on and so forth. But it's more or less going to be, we're going to be kind of back to the old rotation that we saw before. If I feel that I'm really have my back against the wall as far as funds are concerned, we can go back to Glover and Glover. And if we need, if we think we can get by with painting for a little bit longer, then we'll take advantage of the Lone and Level Sands. It's just important to remember that I'm probably looking at about 3 or 4 funds. I think probably 4 funds for the remaining tasks. So at least 16, more likely 20. It's pretty hard to believe that I'm going to be able to generate that while still paying the rent. But we will find out in the next few episodes. So thank you very much for watching. As always, I appreciate your comments and your likes. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, it would certainly help me out if you do. And I do know that a number of you have the notification button set on, so if you'd like to know when that stuff comes on, you can hit that. And if you don't, these things will be usually uploaded at about 6:30, or go live at about 6:30 on Wednesdays and Fridays. So until next time, see you then. Or sorry, until... sorry. I will see some of you back on Friday at 6:30, and until then, I hope you have a good evening.